So I took it a trade on demo on Trading View, on paper trading, and I just make $28,000.
You can take your family on holiday now, bro.
Fucking hell. Let me print this one. I'm gonna put on.
When you
Check this one on Profit and Pain. How lucky I was.
Bro, yo, Maris, you printed 20K?
30 actually. Now it's 30.
30K, yo, wow.
when you want to sell your shoes.
That's insane. Good job, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's on demo. So
Ah, okay. Demo. Damn. Imagine if it was real though.
oh my goodness, I'm gonna leave my job straight away.
Ha.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that one day, bro.
I hope so.
You just, I mean, honestly, bro, the only thing that's going to allow that is just capital. You just need to get big enough capital, because the trades are the same. People think that somehow the people who are making $10,000, $20,000 a month with trading, they're taking like some magical trades. But the trades are the same. The only thing that changes is the amount of balance that you have in your trading account, right? So once you stack up your balance, that's what I'm currently trying to work towards, is just having a bigger trading balance. Because I know how to trade and I know how to take good trades. The same trades that I'm taking right now, risking 300, 400 euro, right? If I just had a bigger account balance and I was risking, 4,000, 40,000 euro on the same trade, then, the profits are just obviously going to be the same, be bigger. It's all about your risk per trade. And that's it. The only difference between these guys making, when you hear people saying, I made $1 million in one trade, I made 200K in one trade, that's because they're risking fucking, $50,000, $100,000. If you're risking $100,000 on a trade and you just hit a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right, that's 100K that you just made on a trade. You hit a 1-to-2 risk to reward, that's 200K. So it's all about capital. It's all about capital.
Spikey, did you say you looked at that course? The one that was in education?
Yeah, it's been a while though, to be fair, bro, since I've looked at it. It was when I posted that thing back in like 2020, 2021 or something, 2020.
No, I saw it. I found it a couple days ago, so I was like, you know what, I may as well watch it.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff in there, to be fair. It does have a lot of extra shit though. It does have a lot of extra shit,
But it's all helping anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, there is going to be a point where you don't want to get like information overload. That's like a typical beginner mistake. It's like they think, the more that you learn, the better you'll be on the charts. But in the end, when you know too much, then you end up second guessing yourself when it comes to entering a trade. So sometimes it's better to just know just enough, right? You just know enough and that's it, right? No need to watch any more strategy videos. No point watching any other else. You just need to know what you learn the basics basically and stick with the basics. Because I went through over that as well. I had to deal with that a lot. I just thought that I was trading on my own, and then I was looking at still YouTubers on YouTube, still watching strategy videos, still watching this, and in the end it just confused the shit out of me. Prop firms, okay, also known as funded accounts. Okay. Prop firms, okay, are companies that give an opportunity to traders, okay, who know how to trade, but they don't have the capital for it. Apart from the company that get opportunity traders who know how to trade but don't have the capital for it. Okay? In short. Wait, this is more who are they? Yeah, who are they? Platforms that company that get opportunity traders who know how to trade but they don't have the capital for it. Okay? How do these companies make money? From regular ass people who think they know how to trade but in reality they don't.
I feel this.
Nah, you're good, bro. You're good. There's people who don't have a community. There's people who are like solo. You know, they're out there in the world. They see a little ad. They see an ad on Instagram or on TikTok. They see this ad from a prop firm says, "Come trade with 100,000 euros," and then they're like, "Oh shit, I want to trade with 100,000 euros. You know, what do I need to do?" And then it says, "Oh, what? It only costs a couple hundred to get access to this money." So they'll buy the challenge. They'll obviously try to pass it, they'll fail it, right? And then the company keeps the initial challenge fee, right? So from regular ass people who they think they know how to trade, but in reality they don't. So they lose the account. Okay? Paying these companies money. Okay? Also, they make money from traders who can pass these challenges. Okay, they make money from traders who can pass these challenges as they keep a percentage of the profit the trader makes on the account. Okay. As well as some props do B-booking. What is this? This is when the prop firm takes an opposite. Okay, so basically, obviously, so the statistic of people, right, is that 90% of traders lose money in the markets, right? So what some of these prop firms will do is that, let's say, they base themselves on the statistics. So since the majority of people taking their challenges lose money, what do? They take trades in the opposite direction as them, which is pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. So, but that's how they also make money, because if most traders are losing money, right, you just need to go in the opposite direction of them and they will make money. So they have systems built in that every single time that a trader, let's say, takes a short position, then they have an AI that takes a long position. So they make money while the trader loses money. Right? Not every prop firm does this. The prop firms that we personally use don't do this. But there is some prop firms that also make money from B-booking, which is low-key fucked up. It's low-key fucked up. Some prop firms do B-booking. What is this? This is when a prop firm takes opposite trades to the client because they base themselves on the statistic that 90% of traders lose money. So why not take the opposite trade as them? Lol. Low-key fucked up. Low-key fucked up. Marius, did you know about that?
No, bro, because I don't use them very, very often. And I'm not gonna use them, or I'm not gonna use too many of them. I know only one, and I'm gonna use only this one.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's still good to understand. Basically, it's still good to understand how these prop firms operate, right, and how to make money, and so that we can take advantage of this, right?
So it was one day when you took it a trade, and you told me that one after, because you took it a sell and I took it by mistake a buy. So all the and it was going to longs that day.
Yeah.
Everyone was on stop loss and I was making profit, like I don't know, maybe 300. but I did it by mistake because
Yeah, you b-booked me basically. So probably
no, I don't think so. You said in that day, oh, we take it all short and Marius take it long. I remember that.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good strategy, man. If you're always losing, just take the opposite trades of what you think where price is gonna go, and you'll make money.
It's not gonna work like that. It's black and red. It's like gambling. No.
What is this? This is when prop firms take when the prop firm takes an opposite trade. Some prop firms do b-booking, not all. What is this? This is when the prop firm takes an opposite trade to the client. Okay. Now, what is this? What are they? How do these companies make money? Okay. What is the risk? Okay. What is our risk? Basically, like, what is our risk trading with prop firms? Honestly, the risk is very low. The risk is very low, right? The challenges the challenge fees typically are very low for the amount of capital that they give you to trade with. Honestly, the risk is very low. The challenge fees typically are very I just repeated very low twice. Honestly, the risk is very low. Challenge fees are expensive. Your only risk with prop firms is losing your initial challenge fee. So for example, if you buy a 100k account for $500 and you fail the challenge, you only lose your $500. That's it. Honestly, the risk is very low. The challenge fees typically are not expensive at all for the amount of capital that they give you to trade with.
But after you pass the challenges, for example, like it was that one what we have on our 25k, no? You pass the boat phase,
Yeah.
and then what happened?
Well, then you depending on the prop firm that you have, then you have a payout split, right? So you get to keep, usually with one funded, I think it's 80% of all the profits that you make with the account you get to keep.
Yeah, but they're gonna give you after you pass the second phase, yeah? They're gonna give another
account. Yeah, they're gonna give you another account, exactly, starting from zero again.
with the same amount, 25.
Yes.
And everything what you do above 25, you're gonna keep like 80%.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
Honestly, the risk is very low. The challenge fees are typically not expensive at all for the amount of capital they give you to trade with. Your only risk with prop firms is losing your initial challenge fee. So for example, if you buy a 100k account for $500 and you fail the challenge, you only lose your $500. That's it. Okay? Challenge fees start from the lowest, typically, which is a 5k account, $5,000 account, which usually costs between, I don't even know if one funded has a
Yeah, it does.
5k account. Yeah, around, it depends on the two-step, around, yeah, even as low as $30. Which is, you fail it and you lose, which is the final, which usually costs you between $30 to $50, depending on the prop firm. Okay. Challenge fees start from the lowest, typically, which is the firm, all the way to the highest, which typically is $200,000. Obviously depending which typically is $200,000, and this costs 1k. It usually always costs around 1,000 for a 250k. Let's see. Some prop firms, yeah, 200k, yeah, around, okay. Forex two-step between 800, okay, 800 to 200, 800 to 1,000. Goes between, I mean, 800 to 1,000 for the opportunity to trade with $200,000 is fucking insane, right? You pass a $200,000 account, you risk 1% per trade. 1% of $200,000 is what? 2,000 euros. So you make, if you risk 1% per trade, you're risking 2,000 euros. Let's say you do a trade which is a 1 to 3 risk reward, you make 6,000 euros in one trade. See, that's the power of these funded accounts. You just have to pass them first.
So Spiky, that's the next question, how to pass them.
Good one. I need to know as well.
Yeah. Let's just do this then.
Guys, because
You said there are
Whoa, hello,
Sorry.
whoa, so many of you talking at the same time here. What's going on?
my fault. You can talk.
What's up? Go, Simon, quick.
Alright, so basically, guys, to pass an eval, just full port the account, over leverage, please, so you can pass her. Don't spend a whole month on it, right? Full
I mean,
port.
you're technically not wrong, but you're not exactly fully correct either. But you're not wrong. Okay, so that's part one. Kathy, does this make sense to you?
yes, it does. But I just need to know how to pass them properly.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna be part two. Okay. Prop firm fund accounts, part 2. Okay. How? Is there anything else that we're missing for these questions? How to pass? Okay. How to pass? How?
Spiky, I thought there's like 2 phases on how to pass them.
Yeah. So how to okay, how to pass prop firms, we're gonna say different. Okay, what type of challenges are there? Okay. What type of challenges are there? How to pass prop firms.
And the rules.
Yeah.
Do they have rules?
Yeah, they do. What rules? What rules do prop firms? What rules do they have? Okay. So, what type of challenges are there? Okay, so typically they do have, depending on the prop firm, right? There is usually a couple different challenges that they offer, right? Nowadays, as the prop firm world is evolving, right? These companies are getting more and more creative about, basically finding different ways that they can basically take money from us, and different ways that they could potentially either us traders who know how to trade take advantage of them, or for them to see how can we make more money from the average person. So they're gonna implement, for example, instant funding, right? So there are some prop firms that offer instant funding, which means that there is no evaluation phase, there is no test phase. There is basically, they put you straight on to live conditions with money that you could make straight off the bat. But what they do is they make the rules very fucking difficult, right? So even though you don't have to pass a challenge phase, they make your trading very restricted, right? So making sure that, like, if you lose the account, then they obviously keep your initial challenge fee, right? So what type of challenges are there? The most common challenge type that traders will buy is the two-step challenge. Okay, what is this? Oh, actually, I'm not. What is this? This means that you need to pass 2 phases in order to get to pass the account. The most common challenge time that traders will buy is the two-step challenge. This means that you need to pass 2 phases in order to pass the account, okay, and get paid from it. Okay, typically phase 1 is 8 to 10% profit target. And phase 2 is usually always 5%. Yeah, 5. It's usually always. Is it? No, yeah. It usually is 5%. It doesn't really get any more than 5%. I haven't seen any prop firm that asks you for more. So let's just do 3. There is some prop firms that do 3. Typically phase 1 is 10%. So okay. So what does this mean? Which means that you, whatever challenge, like whatever account balance you buy, let's say e.g. 100k, $100,000, you need to make 10% profit. So 110,000 to pass phase 1. You need to and 5% profit. So 105,000 to pass phase 2. Okay? Once you have passed both phases, they will say that they will give you a live account. They will say they will give you real funds to trade with. But this is not true. Okay? Don't fall for this. This is not true. This is a trap to make the trader get emotionally attached to the account so that they have they have a higher chance of failing it once they finally pass the challenges, right? Because they think, oh shit, this is real money. If I lose it, then I'm going to lose the company's money. No, they will not be giving a random trader real money to trade with. These companies are not that stupid. Even though you still pass the challenge phase, they market it as real money because you can get paid from it, but it's still fake money. Okay, they just basically pay you out from either this is how they pay you out, right? They either pay you out from the other traders who are making money using the challenges, right? From the winning traders when they make profit, right? What they make, the companies use to pay out others. It's like a cycle, like the money circulates around, right? Let's say I make $2,000 on a funded account, and then Marius requests a payout for $2,000. Well, the prop firm is going to take my $2,000 that I made for them and then give it to Marius, right? And then Marius makes a payout, and then Jennifer wants to ask a payout, so they're going to take Marius's, and it goes round and round. It's all a chain like this, right? And also they make money as well, as we looked in part 1, for all the traders who fail the challenges, right? So let's say I try to buy a challenge with them, I fail, right? They keep my initial investment fee, and so they use that money to pay out the traders who are making money, right? So that's how it works. It's all one big spider web. Okay, once you have passed both phases, they will say they will give you real funds traded, but this is not true. It is a trick. It is a psychological trick to make traders emotional when they trade, so that they are more likely to do stupid things and fail the account. Okay, once you have passed both phases, they will, because obviously they don't want you to pay, they don't want to pay you out. They will pay you out, right? But they don't want to, so they're going to do everything in their power so that you don't get paid out, because otherwise these companies, their business model wouldn't work, right? So that's why they have all these little psychological tricks. I can't even spell. Is that how psychological? Is that how you even spell psychological? Psychological. There we go. Once you have passed it, they will say they will give you real funds to trade with, but it's not true. It is a psychological trick to make traders emotional when they trade, so that they are more likely to do stupid things and fail the account. Okay. Another common challenge type is the one step. Me personally, I prefer this because you know that you just need to pass one phase and you're done. You don't have the psychological pressure of thinking at the back of your mind, oh shit, I passed phase 1, but now I still need to pass phase 2, right? Most traders lose the challenge in phase 2, right? Including myself. Most of my challenges that I had for 2 steps, I lost it in phase 2, right? Phase 1 would be great, and then phase 2, I would be like shit. I would take one trade and then ended up blowing the account. Okay. Another common challenge type is the one step. Me personally, I prefer this because you know that you just need to pass one phase and you're done. You don't have the psychological pressure of thinking at the back of your mind, oh shit, I passed phase 1, but now I still need to pass phase 2. Most traders lose the challenge in phase 2. Okay, so now I just buy one step accounts. However, if you have never traded a funded account before, I would recommend you to buy your first challenge as a 2-step so that you can see how shit it is.
Can you explain also the drawdown
Yeah.
of each phase, because that is the most important, what everyone fail on the account.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be quicker than this, but there's actually so much that comes into this. But at least once these are done, right? This is done, right? It's done. Like, I'll have these screenshots up, and you guys can look at them as many times as you want. Right? And so now I just buy one-step accounts. However, if you have never traded a fund account before, I would recommend you to buy your first challenge as a 2-step so that you can see how shit it is. Okay?
So basically, what I saw on the phase 1, what I did it. So basically, it was I had a trade, what I was on profit like $600,
Yeah.
and I take that amount,
Yeah.
and basically when I took it the next trade, it's not gonna. For example, you took let's say a long, and it was going to your stop loss, yeah.
Yeah.
That stop loss, you're not gonna lose it on the drawdown of the day because you already took it a profit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you should be fine.
Yeah.
So that it is a trick what I think not too many people look it very closely.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, it's if the account is in profit, then your daily drawdown it has to be in negative. No, but your daily drawdown can still get hit though. Your daily drawdown can still get hit. Like if you're in 4% profit, right? And then you lose 4% in that day, and your daily drawdown is 4%, then you'll blow the account.
Yeah, but I didn't lose. So basically, what happened?
Yeah, bro. How did you lose that account, man? What happened? You passed it. Was this in phase 2 that you blew it?
No. Yeah, on the phase 2.
Ah, okay.
So, it was the mistake what I have done. I took it the phase 2. I made it on Asia session in the morning. So, yeah.
The first trade that you took, it was a loss. It was a loss.
Yes, it was a loss, and it was a loss like 1,250.
So all of it basically.
Yeah, the daily. I
hit the daily drawdown.
Reached the daily. Yeah.
Okay.
Spiky.
Yeah.
These 2 phases, does it have a limited time where you need to make it?
No, before when they first started out, when these prop firms first started, they did have a time limit, and there is still some prop firms that do it, but none of the ones that we use have a time limit, so you can take as much time as you want trying to pass it. But we will go through that in the next part 3, which is going to be the strategy of trying to pass these, and you'll see like you should be passing these relatively quickly, right? But there's no time limit, so you want to take your time to wait for the perfect trade. And once the perfect trade appears, you want to be risking big, because ideally you don't want to spend too much time trading these fake accounts, because people will spend months, sometimes even years. Like the longest I spent trading a funded account was over 8 months, and in the end I ended up failing it just because I was so scared to blow it that I was risking so small. And in the end, why the fuck should I spend so much time and energy out of my day for an account that is not even real, right? It's like being scared to trade a demo account. So that's gonna come later in the strategy. But yes, there's no time limit. Technically you could take as long as you want for it. However, there is some prop firms that what they do is they have a 30-day inactivity rule. So if you don't even take one trade in a span of a month, then they're gonna flag your account and basically close it, right? Because they don't want just people leaving their accounts for some reason, right? Sometimes you might get an account, you'll forget about it, you don't trade for a month, and then they take it away from you. That's the only thing that they have, right? Otherwise, if you're taking at least one setup a week or one trade a month, that's typically fine.
I passed my first one in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You should pass it. Technically, you should pass these phases in 2 to 3 trades, max. Sometimes even 1. Right, sometimes even 1. Obviously, it does depend though, right? It does depend on how much money you have to spend on these challenges. Okay, that's all it comes down to, right? For example, like if I was to buy the cheapest account, for example, I'll show you this, Cathy, how it looks on the website too. But look, if I was to buy the cheapest account, right, a 2-step 5K account, it costs $35, right? Even $29. So I'm gonna try pass this phase in 1 trade, right? I'm gonna be risking my maximum that I can risk, and then if I win the trade, I've passed the phase. If I lose it, I've blown the account. But I've only lost $35, so I don't really give a fuck, right? So because I can keep buying challenges, keep buying until I finally pass it. And once I finally pass it, right, I've got 5,000, so I can make back my $35 that I lost very quickly, right? Very quickly. Right, but at the same time, if I'm buying a 200k account and I'm going for the big boy, right, I'm not gonna be, blowing this in 1 trade, because I can't afford just keep buying $800 accounts for now at least. Right, that's how these big traders, they have a big capital. There is some traders that have millions of prop firm capital because they have a lot of money to spend on these challenges, right? Out of 10 challenges they'll buy, maybe they will pass 3, and those 3 that they will pass will make up for all the money that they spent on the challenges. So that's how you have to look at it. It's just, it all depends how much you're willing to invest into this, right? That's why the return on investment for a prop firm is very big, especially if you're starting out, right? And if you're just in the beginning of your trading journey, instead of keep depositing, $500, $300, $1,000 and blowing it, right? It's better to spend, much less, right? For the opportunity to trade with more capital, right? To have 10k in your live account, you need to fucking work a couple months of your job to save up 10k, right? Some people can't even put 10k in their live account to only trade with, right? Because they have things to pay for. But here you can get a 10k account for literally $65, right? So that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of prop firms. If you're good at trading, they can pay you a lot of fucking money, right? But obviously the hard part is to pass it, right? That's hard part is to pass it. But obviously with this strategy, it will facilitate things, right? It will facilitate things. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
It is also instant one.
Yeah, some prop firms also offer instant funding, right? So no challenge phase. For example, look, this prop firm that I'm affiliated with, Forex Funds Flow, right? They have an instant boost account. Okay, for example, this has no payout. This has no challenge phase. Right, so for a 5k account, it costs $100. Okay, and however, look, you cannot lose on the account more than 3%. Right, that's very low. Right, that means that you can technically risk 3% on your first trade, and if you obviously win it, right, then you can get paid. Okay, but if you lose it, then you blow the account. right? So that's why they make these rules. However, this Forex Funds Flow, honestly, this prop firm, it has some very nice rules for instant challenges. For example, there's no daily drawdown, so you can technically full port your max drawdown, right? There is no trailing drawdown, so you don't have a stop loss that will follow you. There's no consistency rule. You can get a payout every 3 days, and the profit split is up to 80%. However, the first time that you pass, like the first payout, it's 65. They just say this to basically make the traders be like, ooh, 80%. But the first payout you get will be 65, and then I think it's after 3 payouts that you get with them, you will go up to 80. And then also your account needs to be at least $50 in profit to withdraw. This is probably the best sort of prop firm that I found for instant challenges. So if you guys want to fuck around one day with an instant, then I would recommend this prop firm to do it, because the one funded is not good for instants. Right? It's not good at all. I don't even think that they offer instant. Oh yeah, they do. Look, they offer instant. Right? They even have these other bullshit rules. They have a consistency rule, which makes it impossible pretty much to get a fucking payout. They have a risk per trade, so you can't risk more than 1% per trade. However, your max loss is bigger, right? Your max loss on the other one is much smaller, right? But this would be a good prop to try an instant challenges. An instant challenge, you can even get a 2.5k, right? 2.5k instant for only $50 for the chance to trade with 2,500. So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. The link is in the Discord, by the way, in prop firms. The link is in the Discord. I'm talking with them to see if my code is actually activated. I send them a message, but usually you can get 15% discount with code Spiky. Some prop firms also offer instant funding, no challenge phase. This is cool too, but however, they do make the rules very restrictive. But if you're smart with it, then you could easily make some money from the system. Okay. What type of challenges are there? Boom. Okay, what rules do they have? And then how to pass prop firms is going to be step 3. What rules do they have? They have... Okay, it's more like, we're not going to go through every single rule that they have, but what rules to watch out for. Every prop firm is different. However, the most common rules that all of them mostly have is max drawdown. Actually, it's more. Is max drawdown, okay, which is the, how would you say this, the minimum your account balance can get below, or how would I put this into words? Like
the minimum phase
the
account.
minimum like
Because each phase has a different one.
I mean, usually the max drawdown usually stays the same, right? So, oh yeah, here they say max loss, the maximum total loss allowed. There we go. The maximum total loss allowed if breached, the account fails. Okay, then you have max, it's more of this, max total drawdown. Okay, usually it's gonna be, well, it depends on the steps, right? It depends on the steps. Like 1 steps and 2 steps, they have different rules criteria, obviously. Right, so for example, look, for a flash 1-step account, right, a 1-step challenge account, it has a max loss of 6%, right? So let's say that we were to make the numbers easier, okay? Let's say we're trading on a $100,000 account, okay? Your account balance cannot go any lower than 104,000. Right, because that is 6% in drawdown over 100k, and any lower than 94,000. Sorry, your account balance cannot go any lower than 94,000. Okay, if you're on a 10k account, what is it? 10k account, 600. No, yeah, 600. Your account balance cannot go any lower than 600 in drawdown. So that's going to be, your account balance cannot go any lower than 9,400. Okay, so that's your max loss. And then, however, if you look at a 2-step account, look, your max loss is 10%, right? Usually your max loss on a 2-step is bigger. Right, that's why usually some beginners or people prefer a 2-step account, because they can lose more basically. But we don't really give a fuck about a 10% max loss, because we're not trying to spend years trying to pass these challenges, right? We're trying to pass them relatively quickly. Okay. Honestly, one of the biggest traps that happened to me when I was first discovering prop firms was the fact that I was very attracted to these big prop firm, like these big accounts, like the 100k account, the 200k account, okay? But the problem is, one, I didn't have much money at the time, so $500 for me was very much expensive for just one account. So I was trading it very closely. I was almost like trading it like it was my fucking baby. You know, like if I lost this account, it was gonna be end of the world, because I didn't want to lose my 400, my 500. I think it was at the time that I purchased. And also, when I entered the trades on MT5, I was so not used to seeing big numbers like that it just made me so emotional. Like I would, at the minute that I would see price coming next to my stop loss, I would move my stop loss, you know, further down, or I would close the position early, right, before it even hits my stop loss. The moment that we enter drawdown, I would close my trade, right, because I did not want to see those big numbers on the screen, those big red numbers. Because on a 100k account, right, if you risk 1% per trade, that's 1,000 euros, right? So, you know, the moment that your trade enters in drawdown, you're gonna see 200, 300, 400, 500 euros already in drawdown instantly, right? And at the time, obviously, I didn't know that I didn't have the same mindset that I do have now for these prop firms. You know how it's all fake money, it's all demo account, it doesn't fucking matter, right? But at the time, I thought it did. And so I never ended up being able to pass these big accounts, right? Because I wasn't able to manage my emotions. Obviously, now things are different, right? And I realized the mindset also is that you need to stop looking. Okay, the bigger that you trade with an account balance, the bigger account balance that you trade with, okay, the less that you want to pay attention to the actual numbers and you want to pay attention to the percentages, right? So let's say that if I'm in a trade on a 200k account, okay, 1% of 200,000 is what? 2,000 euros, right? So if I'm winning a trade, okay, and I'm risking 1%, my account is going to be in profit of 2,000 euros, right? If it's a 1 to 2 risk reward, it's going to be 4,000. But that's the wrong way to look at it, right? You say my account is up 2%, right? 2% basically removes your whole emotions behind it, right? Because it removes all the stress, really, because you're not looking at it from a money standpoint, you're just looking at it from a percentage, right? And this is also a good trick for your live account, right? If you're starting to trade with a bigger and bigger size, instead of focusing on the dollar amount, you focus on the percentage amount, and that removes the emotions from it a lot, right? However, what I then did is I was thinking to myself, why am I trying to always buy the biggest account? Because I'm trying to make the most amount of money possible, right? But I had never even passed a 5k account before, so how could I have passed a 200k or a 100k, right? I haven't even passed a 5k, so why should I go for the biggest fucking, challenge? It's like you're just learning how to swim and you signing up for a fucking marathon, right? Before you've even jumped into the pool, right? So I was like, all right, let me scale it, let me go back to basics, and let me try past a small account first, and if I can pass a small one, it means that I just need to repeat the same process and I can pass a bigger, right? But one of the issues was, guys, is that when I first bought my first challenges, these big accounts, right, I was trying to manifest it in my brain, trying to visualize myself passing the account, right, trying to see myself in the future that I am someone who is funded with multiple, thousands of dollars from these prop firms. But I wasn't quite able to visualize it properly because I didn't really know how it felt, right? Because I had never passed an account before. So that's really helped, is going back to basics, passing a small account, and then being able to feel the emotions of getting a payout, being able to feel the emotions of passing the challenge phase, passing phase 1, passing phase 2, right? That's a good feeling. It's now I know how that feeling feels, right? I know how it feels to get a payout from them. I know how happy I was when I had that money reach my bank account. So what can I do? I can use that emotion to visualize myself receiving bigger and bigger amounts, right? And that's what I'm in the process of doing now, right? Right now I'm trying to pass a 100k account, right? And we'll see how that goes. I've recently only been trading with 100k, with 5 and 10ks, right? And I've passed a couple, got some payouts, ended up failing them, then rebought some, passed a couple, ended up failing them, and then finally when I ended up failing my last set of small accounts, I was like, okay, let me try these big challenges, right? And so let's see how that goes. But the message of that is start off with small, learn the feeling, become familiar with the feeling of getting paid out, become familiar with the feeling of trading with these prop firms, okay, and then you can work your way up. Max daily loss. Okay, so this typically is the most you can lose in a single day. Exactly. Yeah. The most you can lose. The most you can lose in a single day. The maximum total loss allowed on the account. On the total account. The most you can lose in a single day. Okay, so typically typically the max loss, depending on the account, obviously that's why it's hard to generalize, but typically it's gonna be, your max loss is obviously gonna be 4%, 5%. Usually the daily loss is always half of what the max loss is, right? You can see the max loss here is 8%, the daily loss is 4, right? The max loss is 10, the daily loss is 5, right? They do that because basically they don't want traders basically just putting they don't want traders full porting, right? They don't want to they don't want traders risking the whole account and trying to pass it quick. So that's why they have the daily loss limit, because you can only lose a certain amount in a single day, right? The most you can lose in a single day. Okay, then another rule that we need to be and also another thing which I forgot, which is really cool, right, is a lot of these prop firms, for example, One Funded, right, if you pass the challenge phase, right, look what they do. They give you a refund. So let's say that you buy a 10K account, right, you spend $60 on a 10K account and you pass both phases. Well, they're going to give you your $60 back, right? That's pretty cool. So in the end, it just becomes a risk-free investment, right? If you, obviously the bigger account size, the more it's meaningful, right? You pass a 100K account, they give you $469 back, okay? So that's a pretty cool thing that they offer. Not every prop firm offers this, but One Funded does, which is pretty cool. What other rule is there really that we need to be paying attention? I'm just gonna base myself off these, to be honest. Minimum trading days. Okay, yes, minimum trading days. So basically this is the rule that they have, right, in order, because they don't want the user, or like they don't want us to pass the account in one day, right? Because why? Because the more days that a trader spends trying to pass the account, the more chances they have of failing the account, basically, right? It's pretty easy if a trader just buys the account and passes it in one day, okay? It would be too easy. However, if they have to try, trade 3 separate days, the chances of maybe a trader will be in profit on the first 2 days and on the third day he'll gonna give it back, right? So that's why they do that. That's why they have that rule.
Into the YouTube FIFA Creator Cup, July 12th, 5 p.m. Eastern, live and only on YouTube.
Where's my fucking playlist, man? Where are all my other songs, man? I don't want this right now. Feel free, Deep House. This is also a good one, by the way, Marius. Pomodoro Lab. These guys, they have some pretty cool house as well. Minimum trading days. Minimum trading days. So that's basically the minimum number of separate trading days with at least one executed trade required to pass. Yeah. So basically they need to typically this is 3. So you need to enter a trade in 3 separate days before allowed to pass the challenge, right? But there is techniques to this. Right, there's techniques to get away with this. This is not as annoying as it may sound, right? So for example, if a prop firm has minimum trading days, what you do is the first trade you risk the first day that you get the account, you enter a trade and you risk the lowest amount that you could possibly can. You risk 0.01, right? And so you stay in the trade for about 5 minutes, and basically, price is going to move up or down, whatever. You don't really care because you're not going to lose much anyways. And then you close the trade, and that's it. You've basically used your first trading day. Then what you want to do the next day is you do the same thing. Enter a 0.01 trade, and then you close it after 5 minutes and you use 2, and you repeat that for day 3. Once you've done your 3 minimum trading days, you've basically lost no money on the account because you risk nothing at all, right? And then you can finally start risking big and trying to pass the challenge phase, right? So that's basically the strategy with this, because a lot of people will maybe try pass it in the first day. They will risk big, maybe they will come so close into passing the challenge phase, right? And then the other 2 days they give it back, right? It's better to just fucking it's better to just do this system, risk 0.01 for the first 3 days, and once that's done, then you're free to go, right? You're free to go. Typically this is 3, so you need to enter a trade in 3 steps before typically. Okay, and then that's pretty much really the most. I mean, there is also consistency rules, but like consistency rules is tricky. I don't even want to mention this rule, right? Because you don't really want to be buying an account with a consistency rule, right? You don't really want to be buying an account with a consistency rule because it makes it fucking hard to pass the account basically and to get a payout. Basically, yeah, this is complicated. Your best day's closed profit must be no more than this percentage of your total closed profit. Your best day's closed profit must be no more than. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to explain this, guys, because I'm still struggling to understand what a consistency rule is. But basically, why they have this rule is so that they stop traders from, let's say you pass the challenge, okay, and the first trade that you take on the real account, let's say, and you win it, right, you can't get a payout on this first trade. Even though you brought your account in profit, they will not pay you out. Why? Because you did it in one trade, right? They want you to be consistent, so basically you need to, whatever profit you made in that trade, you need to do it consistently at least 3 or 4 times, right, by the end of the week. So let's say on Monday you win a trade of 400 euros, right? You can't take that 400 euros out. What you need to do is also win a trade on Wednesday of 400 euros. You need to win a trade on Friday for 400 euros so that you are consistently making the same amount of money, so that then they will finally pay you out, right? That's why the consistency rule is fucked. Consistency rule is fucked. So make sure to never buy a challenge with a consistency rule, right? You can see that in this case, this is one funded. They make this. These are tricky motherfuckers. Look, for a 25k, they have the consistency rule off, right? For the 50k, they have the consistency rule off, but as soon as they get bigger, okay, in a 100k and 200k account, these motherfuckers, they put the consistency rule on. So, you know, if we were to buy bigger accounts in the future, I would not use this prop firm. I would use 5%ers, for example, right? Or we can go, but for now, we just need to be focusing on one prop firm. No point of fucking clouding our judgment with others. Any other rules really that we haven't covered? Daily loss, minimum trading days, profit split. I mean, profit split, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? That's basically just how much you're able to keep of right, profit splits. How much you are able to keep. Oh no, what percentage of profit you are able to keep after a winning trade. Okay, typically it's 80%, right? It's between 70. It honestly depends on the prop firm, right? 70 to 90%. I've had some prop firms that have given me a 90% payout split, right? However, what happens sometimes is that you will start off on a low payout split, right? When you first pass an account, they will give you, 70%, for example. And then as you get more payouts, the prop firm and the companies are going to see, okay, this trader is actually making money consistently, right? Let me put his payout split bigger, right? So that's an option too. Also, sometimes what you can do is, if you want to pay a little bit extra money, you can go for a bigger payout split, right? So for example, let's say we're trying to buy an account, right? Look what they offer. Let me buy it, bitch. Look. Oh my goodness. Look, they offer you in the order summary when you're about to check out, they offer you a higher payout split, right? So if you want a bigger payout split, you pay extra, and then it's like 27 more, and then you can get a 90% payout split. However, I highly recommend that you don't pay for any of these extras, right? Because you don't know which of the accounts you're gonna pass and which of the accounts you're gonna fail. So they just hope that you do this so that they make more money, okay? Because obviously when someone buys a challenge, right, what do they hope? They hope that they're gonna pass the challenge that they buy, right? But the way that we're doing it is that we're not getting emotionally attached to these challenges, right? We understand that this is just a business expense. That's why we buy the most cheapest challenges, okay? So that we can pass a bunch of them, pass and fail, pass and fail, pass and fail, right? Put in the reps in, because at the end of the day, we would lose less money, right, than if we kept depositing in our live account, right? And we just need to pass one account, two accounts, in order to make back all the money that we spent investing in these challenges and more, right? So we don't want to be paying for any of these extra bullshits, right? Don't be paying for that shit.
Okay, boys, I'm going to sleep because I'm gonna get to sleep
Me too.
again.
Me too. I'm fucking been speaking for hours, but this is important. Did you feel like you've learned some stuff as well, Marius? Yeah, like some psychology stuff.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah?
Especially on this one. Yeah, it's very, very nice one.
Okay.
It's very understandable, so it's okay.
And this is all recorded as well, so there is parts where I'm not talking because I'm obviously typing, so tomorrow I'm gonna cut it out, I'm gonna edit it out so that it's not fucking too long. It's not too long. Obviously, if there is still some parts where I don't talk, you just skip through it, right? You just skip through it.
Okay.
And that's it, man. Marius, bro.
Night.
Thanks for chilling with us, bro.
Yeah, always. I'm gonna have a look in the morning to the entire stream.
Tomorrow is Saturday, though, bro.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna be on in the morning, like 7 o'clock.
Tomorrow. Guys, obviously my TikTok is restricted again. I don't know if you guys know that. That's why.
What?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't able to go live today. But I've currently paid for another platform that allows me to connect multiple different platforms together. So I'm gonna be going live on Instagram, and I'm gonna be going live on TikTok, on YouTube at the same time. So that I can get viewers coming from all different platforms, and hopefully my TikTok will not be restricted anymore, and then I'll also connect my TikTok. So I'll be there's this platform that connects all these different social medias in one, so I'll be going live on all of them at the same time. So hopefully a lot more people will be able to get some knowledge and learn trading, and then come into the Discord.
I saw a video on YouTube made it by you. It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was the test.
Okay.
Yeah, but Marius, you should download Instagram, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Download Instagram.
Exactly.
Download Instagram. Create an account, and then you can just only follow me. And every time that I go live, at least, because YouTube is the big screen, but Instagram is like the TikTok screen, so it'll be 9:16. So it's quite nice to have that on your phone.
The question is, why doesn't he have Instagram?
Yeah, why don't you have Instagram,
I'm
Marius?
old style.
Yeah,
I'm old style.
well, now you're
You're not old, like-
it's time to become new style again, bro.
Marius, how old are you?
I'm 35.
I'm older than you, man, and I've got Instagram.
Yeah, but I don't use them because I don't really have
I
time.
know it's time. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but now it's like the same shit like when you go on TikTok, you know, to watch my stream, you just go on Instagram. It's the same shit.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look on it on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Alright, good night, Broski.
Okay, good night. Good night, all of
Good
it.
night, good night, good night. Guys, who do we have left in here? Who do we have left in here? Bills, I heard your voice. What? We still have hella man in here. AB, Suhail, Performance, Kathy, you still alive or you falling asleep? 7, what's up?
I'm still alive. I'm still here.
Do you guys have energy for part 3 or should we do this on Sunday?
Finish it now, please.
Okay. Prop firms part 3, right? This is the strategy of how to pass them. Okay. So we're gonna be drafting one for a 2-step account, right? And then obviously the same concept applies for. Okay, let's see. Let's start with a 2-step for now. Okay, the 2-step. Let's do.
But Spiky,
Yeah.
do you recommend, for example, for us like me who doesn't have like experience in trading, to start like with this 2-steps account or just go with no challenge account?
No, definitely don't go for a no challenge account because they make the rules really restrictive. So it's like you'll blow it really easily, and it's just an easy way to give money back. Because obviously with the no challenge, with the no phase accounts, you can't really lose much. Like your account balance, it can't really go very much in drawdown. So like let's say you lose 2-3 trades, that's already done basically. That's already done. So I would recommend that you do a 2-step for the first account, Kathy. I would recommend you do a 2-step, like I said, and then after that, I would recommend you do a 1-step challenge. Right? Because as I said, the psychological trigger of having to pass 2 challenges, right? It's hard for us humans, but at least if we're trading with a more clear mind, if we know that we only have one objective rather than 2. It's like fucking, running a race up a mountain, and you get up to the mountain and then you look down and you realize that you have to go up another mountain, right? It's just like fucking hell, I just made it all the way up here and now I have to do another phase, right? So that's typically why I try to stay away from 2-phase prop firms. But for the first time, you should run that fucking marathon that has those, that higher mountain later, so that you know how fucking painful it is and you know how annoying it is, and so that you know that next time you're not gonna do that shit again, right? So it's almost like learning, it's almost like feeling what it feels like, so that you know what not to look for. Like in a relationship, you're in a relationship with someone that you find that you'd end up, being toxic with at the end, and so you know what you don't want, right? It's the same thing with the 2-step. You trade a 2-step first, so you know what you don't want, so that you can focus on what you do want, which should be the 1-step. Fuck man, I'm so happy that you guys are in here, to be fair. It makes me happy to see that you guys are fucking up in here. I know it's late and stuff, but you guys are fucking committed to the process. Fuck yeah. This is the difference, guys, between the people who are in the Discord, who they don't take advantage of the coaching calls, they don't message into the group, they don't use all the information that is available. They're not gonna progress as fast as the people who generally fucking spend time and put in the work. That's the difference, guys. When I first started to trade, all I was fucking doing was consuming trading content every single day, hours every day. right? It got to the point where even my parents were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, people were literally telling me, like, why just come outside, bro? Like, why don't you not just come outside and just be fucking normal? And I just didn't want to, because I knew that I found something that I genuinely loved and I genuinely saw the potential in it. So you need to just be fucking, you know, so involved with this stuff in this process, because it's just going to be something that once you nail it, once you understand it, it can serve you for literally the rest of your life, and you can pass it down to anyone that you want, right? It's a skill that you can pass down the same way that I'm trying to pass it down to you guys, the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. And, you know, hopefully one day when I have children, you know, I'll get them on the fucking charts the moment that they can operate, you know, like they'll be fucking killers by 8, 9, 10. They'll be fucking traders making shit ton of money.
You know, Hendrik was watching you before he falls asleep, so I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah, there we go. So you're on the very right track, Kathy. And Henrik potentially might become a trader one day, because it's just like, it will just give him that opportunity to be able to, nowadays that the world is becoming even more digitalized, right? Degrees are becoming even more worthless. Nowadays, a degree is literally just a piece of paper, unless you want to become a doctor, unless you want to become, you know, you want to enter a field. Oh, Neo's calling. Unless you want to enter a field where a degree is required, right? To be a lawyer, to be a doctor, that still requires degrees. But most jobs nowadays, having a degree is useless. So, you know, learning a skill is going to allow you to, your son or your daughter or whoever, even yourself, to just travel and make money from a laptop with just an internet connection is fucking beautiful. Right, so how to pass these challenges. Right, so the 2-step strategy. How to pass these challenges. I'm trying to say the 2-step strategy. Okay, wait, let's do this. Oh, no, not keynote. Okay. The goal of these prop firm, of these challenges, is not to get emotionally attached to them. Put yourself in the mindset that these accounts are fake money, right? In simulated environments. Okay? Nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens if you fail the account. Okay? Your risk is low, right? There we go. The goal of these challenges is not to get emotionally attached to them. Put yourself in the mindset that these accounts are fake money in simulated environments. Nothing bad happens if you fail the account. Okay? Your goal, you should, in the evaluation phase. Okay, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's basically the mindset that you want to have. Okay, now the 2-step challenges. Okay, during the evaluation phase, phase 1 and phase 2. During the evaluation of phase 1 and phase 2, you want to try pass this as quick as possible, taking the highest quality setups. Right? Setups are trades possible. Okay? For your strategy, for your way of trading, right? Whatever that is, whatever that may be, right? Obviously in trading, Kathy and people in here, I understand you guys are just starting out, so you don't know what a high quality trade is, right? For your specific way of trading, okay? But you know, over time, as you're gonna learn the way that I trade, hopefully that's gonna resonate with you, okay? And I will make a video to also in the mentorship channel in the Discord. I'm going to make a video obviously breaking down my strategy and all the elements, and one of the videos is going to be what is an A+ setup, right? An A+ setup is the highest quality setup that we could possibly get for the strategy, right? What is an A+ setup, what is an A setup, and what is a B setup, right? Those are typically how we rank them, right? A+, A, and B. A+ is like, you know, we get liquidity sweep, you know, we're reacting off a higher time frame fair value gap, we tapped into equilibrium, you know, we reacted off one of our buy zones or sell zones, we get displacement coming down from it, you know, we have a 5-minute breaker structure, a 5-minute inverse, we have good liquidity areas to target, we have equal lows below, equal highs below, you know, all of these things make it high quality setups, right? So these are technically the sort of trades that you want to be taking on the funded accounts, right? The highest quality setups that you for your style of trading, right? Taking the highest quality setups, trades possible for your way of trading, whatever that may be, right? Whatever that may be. A+, setups, A+ only. Okay. During the evaluation phase 1 and phase 2, you want to try to pass it as quick as possible, taking the highest quality setups, trades possible for your way of trading, whatever that may be, right? A+ only. Okay. So for phase 1, right? Typically, if we're going off the one funded, right? Phase 1 is going to be, let's say that we want to start off on a whatever, it doesn't really matter the account size. Let's say phase 1, a core. This is the core. This is the one that I would recommend that you get. A core 2-step, right? The first phase profit target is 8%, right? You can see it here. Profit target P1, phase 1, 8%, P2, 5%. Okay, so phase 1 is 8%. Okay, so what you want to be doing? You want to be risking first trade on the account. Okay, you want to risk, obviously, okay, so first of all, these are the criteria, right? 1 trade max per day. Okay, because it's very rare that you're gonna get an A+ setup, an A+ trade that follows all your rules, that everything is perfect, that you're gonna get it multiple times in a day. Usually that setup will only show up once, right? It might show up twice, but that's very rare, right? An A+ setup in a week will maybe show up 3 times a week in a good week, max, right? So we always set our rules to 1 trade max per day, okay? 1 trade max per day. Okay, risking 1.5% per trade. Okay, every trade that you take, you risk 1.5%, right? So if it's a 10K account, for example, 10K account, that would be $150, right? Risk per trade, okay? However, only, okay, this is a big one, only if the account is in profit. Okay, only if the account is above break even. Okay, let's say the first trade on the account, let's say that you take your first trade on the eval account and you end up losing it, okay, then the next trade that you take, you're not going to risk 1.5%, right? You only risk 1.5% if your account is at break even or above. Okay, because this will make sure that if, for example, we enter a losing streak, right, we're not going to blow the account super quick, risking big, right? We always want to risk big if the account is at break even or higher. Risking 1% 10k risk only if the account is above break even. If you lose the first trade, okay, the next trade you take, you risk 1%. I mean, honestly, I would say like 0.5. Yeah, 1%. I'll say 1%. Yeah, I would say 1%. You risk 1%, okay, until you bring the account back to break even. Then you go back to risking 1.5. Okay. Now, if our profit target is 8%, right, and we risk 1.5% per trade, how? Wait, also minimum risk to reward. Okay, do you guys know what I mean by my risk to reward? When I say risk to reward, do you guys know what I mean?
Yep.
Kathy, do you know what I mean by risk to reward?
No. Explain, please.
So risk to reward is obviously every trade that you take has a risk to reward, right? How much are you risking for how much you're potentially going to make, right? So let's say a 1 to 3 risk to reward, okay, means that you're risking, for example, $100 to make $300, right? A 1 to 4 risk to reward is you're risking $100 to make $400, right? And you can see this by, for example, let's say you want to be entering a trade, right? Let's say that we want to enter this buy here. Okay, we entered this buy here, right? Our stop loss is going to be below here, right? Below the low, right? What do we want to target? We want to target a 1 to 2, okay, risk to reward minimum, right? But in the prop firm, we want to be, right? So look, 1 to 1. You see this little number here, 1.2, 1.3, 1.6. You see how it's getting smaller as I'm putting the stop loss, the take profit smaller. You see that, right? So for example, at a 1 to 1, right? 1 to 1 right here, 1 to 1, right? This basically means I am risking 100 to make 100, okay? When it comes to prop firms, right, we want our risk to reward to be at least 2.5, right? 2.5 risk to reward. Okay, this means that if we're risking 1.5%, right, per trade, 1.5% times 2.5 is what? 3.75, right? So if we win the first trade, we will be in 3.75% profit in the challenge phase, right? The challenge phase is 8%. Okay, we need to make 8%. So in the first trade, we are already at 3.75% profit in the challenge, right? You can. The reason why we don't really want to go, I mean, honestly, screw that. We up it. We're upping it. 2% per trade, because look, the maximum loss is 10%. That's huge, right? 2, 4, 5. So that means that technically, if this is not, we need to lose even way more trades. But technically, if you were to risk 2% every single trade, right, we could not lose more than 5 trades in a row, and we would blow the account, right? Because if the maximum loss is 10% and you're risking 2% per trade, right, 5 times 2 is 10. So you can't lose more than 5 trades in a row. However, this is bigger for us. Why? Because if the account is in drawdown, right, we're not risking 2%, right? We're only risking 1. Okay, so boom, you go back to risking 2%. Minimum risk to reward per trade is 1 to 2.5. Minimum, right? The higher the better. 1 TP, okay, 1 TP, right? No multiple little TPs. 1 TP, 1 to 2.5, right? Obviously, your risk to reward changes, right? Look, if your stop loss is tighter, look, the risk to reward is way higher, right? So obviously, if you're trading with a bigger stop loss, then your risk to reward and your target is obviously higher. Like, look, a 1 to 2, a 1 to 2.5 with a big stop loss is, you need the price to come all the way up here, right? That's huge. But let's say that if we were to make our stop loss tighter, right, a 1 to 2 risk to reward becomes much more attainable, right? We only need price to come up to here, right? So you obviously, it's also coming down to trade selection, right? If you have a trade, a setup, okay, where you don't require to have a big stop loss, right? That could be potentially a good funded account eval trade to take, right? The tighter your stop loss, obviously your risk to reward can become smaller, right? 2.5 with a small stop loss, we would have already passed it. We would have already hit it, right? So minimum 1 to 2.5. So what does that mean? Okay, it means that, let's say everything goes smooth, right? Let's say everything goes smooth. It means, let's say everything goes smooth. You should hit the, well, not you should, you will hit the 8% profit target in how many trades? Let's say first trade we risk 2%. Let's say it's a winner, so 2% times 2.5, because it's a minimum of 2.5 risk to reward, gives us what? 5%, right? So let's say everything goes smooth, you will hit 8% in, and so let's say we then risk again 2% for the next trade that we take, right? That's gonna be 5% again. So we would have already hit over. We would have already gone over the challenge phase, right? So it means, let's say everything goes smooth, you'll hit 8% profit target in 2 trades, right? Max. Well, that's it, in 2 trades, right? First trade, you risk 2%, okay? Risk to reward, RR, right? RR 2.5, okay? Equals 5% profit, right? Second trade, you risk 2%, okay? Again, right? RR 2.5 is what? 5% profit, again, right? And you only need to make 8%, so you can literally close this even less than a 1 to 2.5. You could close this at a 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2, because if you get a 1 to 2 RR, that's what? 4%, right? 2 times 2 is 4, right? 5 plus 4 is what? 8. So there we go. So that's it. You've passed phase 1 in 2 trades. Okay, let's say that you're
5 plus 4 is 9.
What?
5 plus 4 is 9.
Oh, even better
Not
then.
8.
even better, Ben. Thank you for correcting me. 5 plus 4 is 9. So even better. You only need to make 8. So you what do you need to get? Even less. So it's at the minute that you get to 8%, you just close the trade out. You just close the trade, right? So boom, you've passed phase 1 in 2 trades. Okay, let's say that you end up losing the first trade, right? As I said, you risk 1% until you bring the account back up to break even. Okay, If you go even more into drawdown, like if you're really heavy into drawdown, then you bring this down to even lower, right? You bring it down to 0.5, right? Because you're trying to make sure that you don't end up blowing the account. It's fine if you blow the account, right? It's just a business expense, right? This is another thing that I forgot to add, right? Blowing evaluations, right? Challenge accounts are just a business expense. That's it, right? That's it. That's all they are. They're a business expense, right? Blowing are just a business expense. That's the price you pay to learn. That's the price you pay to play the game of trying to make more money. How can I word that? That's the price you pay for doing it as just business, and that's the price you pay for the potential opportunity of making a lot of money, basically. That's it. Right? You're taking the risk to trade with a lot of money with a low risk. Boom. Phase 1. There we go. Obviously, guys, you know, with a one-step challenge, right? That's it. You would have already passed the account, right? In 2 trades, you would have already passed one. With only the one phase, you would have already got the 8%, right? Usually, though, sorry, let me correct myself. With the one-step accounts, where they only have one challenge phase, they have a 10% profit target instead of an 8, right? So, which you could also pass in 2 trades, right? You just need to go back to the original thing, right? Risking 2%, minimum RR 2.5, right? That's 5. So 5 times 2 is 10. So technically you could still pass it in 2 trades, right? Second trade you risk 2% again, RR 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2.5 RR. Okay, there we go. And then for phase 2, okay, phase 2 is usually what? 5%. So what do you do, guys? The same shit. You risk first trade you risk 2% of the account, okay? Minimum risk to reward 2.5, right? Which equals 5% profit target. Okay, passed in 1 trade. Okay. If you go, wait, let's see. %5 profit passed in 1 trade. That's it. That's literally it. If you go in drawdown, right? If you go in drawdown, then you in phase 2 you risk even less, right? So how to pass these challenges? Let's do First trade, you risk 2% of the account, mirrors to reward 1 to 2.5. 5% pass in one trade. Okay, if you go in drawdown, damn, my account, my laptop's about to fucking die. If you go in drawdown, okay, risk 0.5% in phase 2 until you bring the account back to break even. Okay, because the last thing we want to do is risk blowing the account in phase 2, guys. We're already so close, right? We're already so fucking close. This is where most traders blow the challenge phase, is in phase 2. Right, so technically, guys, in 3 trades you should be funded, right? That's why it is very important to be picky about the trades that you take. Okay, that's the most important thing. You just need to have the mindset that you need to think, I just need 3 good trades. 3 good trades. That's it. Right? So you're patient and you wait until you think, you know, you get that feeling, right? You get that feeling when you're about to enter a trade, you're feeling really confident about a trade, right? Because everything is matching, you can see the target, you're very clear, you've seen this happen play out before, right? Those are the sort of trades that you want to be taking on the funded, right? Because there's no point in just trying to rush it, because you realize that you only need 3 good trades to become funded. That's it. So be very selective. Be very selective. Right? Even if that sometimes means not taking a trade for a whole week on your funded until you find a good setup, then that's what you have to do. Right? On my 100k account that I'm trying to pass now with 5%ers, I didn't take a trade on that this whole week, right? Because the market conditions were not good. Obviously, I still took a trade on my live account, because my live account is the account where I make money, so I can pay for day-to-day stuff, so I have to be a little bit more risky. But with the funded account, there's no rush, right? Funded accounts, you take your time and you wait until you can see the perfect setup, and when you see the setup, you fucking execute and you risk big, okay? And we're not even doing like all these other guys telling you to risk the full account. No, we're doing this thing properly. Obviously, you know, there is still a strategy to this. There's people that just risk the full account and then they like, okay, fuck it, either I pass it in one trade or I lose the account, right? That is a way to do it, but I think that just basically is just going to feed a gambling mindset, right? We don't want to feed a gambling mindset, okay? Because that could also leak into our live account, that could leak into other areas of our trading, and we don't want that, right? We want to remove the gambling mindset, so at least we're still doing things right. We still have a risk management, right? We're still managing our risking a certain amount, but at least we're doing it right, and it's not going to take, you know, years and months to try pass a fucking account that is not even real. These accounts are not even real, guys, okay? It's fake fucking money. It's fake money, right? And I'd say that's literally it. That's literally it. That's it. That's literally it. Let me take a screenshot of this. Does that make sense, guys? Who's still in here? Who's still in here?
Thank you so much.
Yeah? Do you feel like you understand prop firms now, Kathy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Thank you.
It's pretty cool,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
I'll try it. I'll try it, but I don't know if it's first.
I mean, obviously, you know, the first few trades, you can obviously take the trades that we're sending out, right? I will let you guys know if there is a specific trade that I'm gonna be entering when I'm gonna be like, okay guys, I want to enter this on my funded accounts, right? So that potentially you guys could too, right? Because it means that will be a trade that I truly believe that the chances of it winning is gonna be high. So you know, for the first account, you can definitely do that. Or you can just take it the solo route, right? Up to you, completely up to you. But I will let you guys know if I am entering on my funded accounts as well, so that maybe you can hopefully pass your first one taking the trades in the group, and then, you know, build up some money with that, and then, you know, try it again on your own, right? That's why you might as well use the advantages of what's happening in the group as well, right? And I'd say that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, legends. That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. Right, guys. Holy moly, good night, guys. I appreciate every single one of you in here who decided to stick through it. I hope you guys learned how to read funded accounts, and yeah, we will probably touch on them again into the week. But at least now you guys have a good foundation understanding, you know, what prop firms are, how do they make money, how we can take these challenges, and how we can put ourselves in a mindset that allows us to win, right? And to give us the best opportunity to try to pass these and to take advantage of this, because I truly think that funded accounts are one of the biggest opportunities that has been given to us traders who don't necessarily have a lot of capital to trade with, right? Because the investment is very low, but the return on it can be very high, right? It's just learning and understanding and being smart about the right way to approach these challenges and to pass them. And so yeah, you guys should have everything that you'd need to try it out. Holy shit, guys, I feel like I've been speaking for hours. How long have we this call has been going on for 3 hours? That's insane. I'm dedicated to you guys, man. I'm dedicated to helping you guys get better and to finally, you know, fucking understand all of this shit. It's my goal to bring everyone in this Discord to a good level where they can finally be confident with their trading. And I appreciate you guys taking the time of your day to listen to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And for that being, have a lovely weekend. Get some rest. Reset your mind. Right? Trading is all about mind up and how healthy we are up in here. So let's take the time this week to spend some time for yourself. Go outside. Hopefully the weather's good. Right? Take some time to chill, reset the mind, and let's come back strong on Sunday night. And hopefully let's crush it next week. Alright, guys? Peace and love.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Peace and love. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.